Welcome to the Fertility Mind podcast. I am your host, Jessica Friesen, a certified fertility mindset coach, a sound healer, and an international best-selling author. My mission for this podcast is to give you weekly episodes where you hear my own success with IVF and how mindset and manifestation changed it all for me. You will also hear from my guests who share their success stories in the fertility world. I want you to know that you are not alone. Even when things feel tough and when things feel like they aren't going your way, the tools and techniques you will get in this podcast, I know can change everything for you too. So thanks for being here with me today, and let's dive in. Hello and welcome back. Today I'm talking to you about how incredibly powerful our thoughts are. And when becoming practiced, you can start to choose your thoughts the way you choose your clothes. These are words that I heard when I first started studying the universal laws, and then more so when I was doing my coaching certification, very much understanding where your thoughts are, understanding how you can change them, and really understanding how when you change your thoughts, not only do you change on the inside because you're changing how you think and you feel, but how people respond to you are different. How you show up is different. How you can change, when you start to change the inside, you change everything on the outside in your current environment. Your circumstances will change. Everything will start to change. So I'm sharing this with you because I'm going to ask you this question. How often do you think about your desired life? And when you do think about your desired life, do you have limiting beliefs around it? Or do you say, like, yeah, that would be lovely to travel more, or it'd be lovely to win the lottery, or it'd be amazing to have a house cleaner or a private chef, or whatever your mind can conceive that is a desire that you truly want? How often do you think about that? And I can say from my fertility clients, they will tell me, I think about having a baby multiple times a day. Sometimes work is a welcome distraction. Sometimes it's not. And they share with me how much they want to have a baby. But depending on where you are in your fertility journey, you know your emotional impacts. You know everything that you've gone through, and you're going to start to discover when you think about where you're holding your beliefs around your fertility journey and around your body. If you believe that your fertility journey is hard, it's going to be hard. And I know these things can be really hard to hear sometimes. One of the hardest things, there was two hard things. When someone said to me, everything happens in its right divine time, I was like, no, that you don't say something like that to someone on their fertility journey. But I came to understand everything does happen in its right divine time. I had to sit with that. I had to understand what that meant. I had to change my beliefs around some things. But the hardest thing is when someone said to me, and then I heard it multiple times from people in the personal development industry, coaches, mentors, big name people were saying, your thoughts are currently creating your environment right now. And again, I got very defensive because I went to the point of, I didn't ask for a fertility journey. I didn't ask for my body to do what it's doing right now. I didn't ask for the contrast that was going on in my life. But again, when I was in my community, in my coaching community, and in my community when I was studying the universal laws, this was the same information they were getting. This was the same things that we were all studying. And I was seeing win after win after win. And I thought, I have to understand what this means. So I very much came to interpret that it has nothing to do with my body. No, I did not create a low egg count, or I did not create a low sperm count, or I did not create endometriosis, or whatever your diagnosis is. No, you did not create that. And I don't want you to go to that zone. I want you to know when we're creating our environment, for example, when I was really holding the belief that I didn't know I was holding until I started observing and becoming aware of my thoughts. It was so embedded into everywhere and everything in my life, but I really didn't feel worthy. And that became so relevant when I was on my fertility journey, especially because my husband had 3 children naturally with someone else. That was loud and clear that clearly I wasn't enough to have kids naturally with my husband. And here I am in a fertility world. I didn't have friends going through fertility treatments, and I also didn't have friends struggling to get pregnant that I knew of at that time. And I felt really alone. So my thoughts, because I was on a lower vibration, I was attracting lower vibrational things into my life that really kept, confirming to me that I wasn't enough. When I started studying the universal laws, because that little voice inside of me kept saying, you have to go on, you have to go on. And I started listening. And when I started listening to, personal development in 2014, and then in 2019, really studying the universal laws, I really, really, really started to understand the power of my thoughts. When I started telling myself that my body knows exactly what it's doing, I changed a belief. I stopped thinking that my body was not doing the things. I was focusing on the things I wanted versus focusing on the things that I didn't. I started changing my belief that, I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm meant to be a mom. I am meant to be a mom. Yes, I love being a stepmom, but I know I'm meant to be a biological mom as well. I started changing my beliefs that I am here for a purpose, and I started getting ideas of how I can help people on their fertility journey. And it was that quote of, what if my story could be someone else's survival guide? That stuck out so loud and clear to me. And no, I didn't know what I was doing back in 2014, but I started recording all of my driving. Like when I would drive to my appointments, I would record feelings, I would record different things. And I started getting ideas of how I could share my journey with people, but being loud and clear and honest and transparent. In 2014, I did not have the self-confidence. I'm an open book. I would share whatever people asked, but to put myself out there was something that I was not ready to do. I wanted to just manifest my babies and stay in my quiet little corner. But as I worked on my beliefs, as I worked on different things, my self-image about myself changed, my self-confidence changed. The way people talked to me was different. And it was because I was staying in a higher vibration. I was controlling my thoughts. And I even got to the point I was so curious, I dabbled with it. When I was consistent, choosing my thoughts, how are my days, versus when I would wake up and just do my daily routine. How were my days? They were so dramatically different. How my kids treated me, my stepkids, my own biological children, how my family treated me. And not that they treated me bad by any means, but just how they reacted and responded was so different. And I thought, okay, well, now that I feel like I've mastered my thoughts, I don't need to do this. And I stopped doing it for a while. And again, I noticed the difference. So I don't want to scare you and think like, oh my gosh, this is daunting. I have to now do this. No, anything that you do right now is setting up your tomorrow. And I don't want you to feel guilty. I want you to give yourself grace, because anything that you do, so if you didn't do something today, do it tonight before you go to bed, or do it first thing in the morning. Don't waste time on feeling guilty or feeling any negative emotions about what you didn't do. I want you to become practiced. I want you to master your thoughts, that when fear steps in. So, for example, if you are just starting out in the fertility world, I want you to focus your thoughts on the things that you really want. Don't listen or compare your journey. I know that's easier said than done, but this is unique to you. If you've been on your fertility journey for a long time, every procedure, every doctor appointment, every um, every medical protocol, every pregnancy, if you've been pregnant before and now you're pregnant now, it is so incredibly different. Don't compare symptoms. Don't compare anything. I want you to know that the universe has your back. And if you choose to harness that belief, things will change dramatically for you. You can control your thoughts. So when fear steps in, how do you change it? And your wish is my command at every sentence. And I know some of that it's going to sound funny, but when you think about that thought, if you're, where you are on your fertility journey and you say your wish is my command, you think, I don't want that. So then sit with it for a moment because you know exactly what you don't want. So don't give any more energy to that and say, I actually get to control my thoughts. This thought is not serving me. I don't want to feel this way. So I'm going to choose to think of what it is that I want. So I get my clients to create end scenes. A quick synopsis of what an end scene is you sit and you visualize your life with all of your desires achieved. What does a day-to-day life look like? What does celebrating your first family vacation or your baby or baby's first birthday or holiday, whatever it is that lights you on fire and that you can get excited and feel a lot of happy, high vibrational emotions, I want you to envision those. And I want 5 different ones. Because again, I'll reiterate, our minds are so incredibly powerful. So our mind does not know the difference if you are recalling a memory or if you're creating something as if it's already happened, that you become that vibrational match. You become that vibrational match and you've tuned into that frequency where everything already exists. If that's hard for you to hear, I want you to think about your beliefs. I want you to write down. I want you to ask questions. Who are you blaming? I want you to ask yourself questions. How do you feel about your body? How do you feel about your fertility journey? How do you feel about everything? And then I want you to go listen to my bless and release episode because I want you to bless and release those things. If you're grieving, I need you to grieve, but I don't want you to stay there. I don't want you to pack up and stay there. I want you to know it is important for you to feel your feelings and not just press them down. But I also want you to know that you can focus your thoughts. You can be on a healing journey and still enjoy life while you're healing the parts that have had very emotional impacts. I want you to know that you can have joy on the journey while you're creating your desired family and know that it's okay. It's okay to have fun along the way and be grateful for the things that you have now while you are manifesting your family. I want you to know that when you become practiced and anything that you do towards it is going to help you get practiced. I will be, again, completely transparent. When I first started studying, I was not consistent. I beat myself up if I didn't do my studies or if I didn't focus on my end scenes, because sometimes there was a lot of contrast in my life. And I just thought, not today. Just not today. But then I would beat myself up for not doing it. You can always measure your losses, but you can't measure a gain before you have it. So I am here to say to you, become persistent and become consistent, and you will see a dramatic, dramatic change in your life. I started becoming persistent and consistent, and I literally started watching my manifestations unfold in front of my eyes. And that's because I was choosing the power of my thoughts. I was choosing to focus on what I wanted versus what I didn't want. I became quiet when there was contrast situations or things around me. I didn't want to have that exchange of energy. So sometimes I just sit there and quiet and became neutral to the situation. And at night, I would harvest the good. I'd forget the rest. Not that I ever actually forget, but I let go. There's no point in recalling a situation or a circumstance or things that are going on in your environment, because the more people you tell, the more consistent you stay in that negative feedback loop. but you remain on a lower vibration. Bob Proctor always talked about how he was so guarded with his mind, with negative thoughts, negative circumstances, and, negative things going on in his environment. He became guarded, very guarded. And he talked about how he would harvest the good of every situation and forget the rest. Even when he was in pain, he did not talk about the pain he was in. He did not talk about if he felt ill that day. He showed up and only chose to focus on the thing. So you can become that mastered. You can master your mind the way that you want to. You can master your thoughts. And this is part of an action. So this is a question I get from my fertility clients when they're in the limbo phase. And when I say limbo phase, that means you're either waiting for your period to start, or you're waiting for an egg retrieval, or you're waiting for something. And they say, like, the stereotypical way of having a child is obviously intercourse. And they have to either have protected intercourse or timed intercourse. Again, depending on where you are, it seems like, okay, well, what do I do on the days that I can't do this, or the days that I'm not supposed to be doing this? Number one, actions would be, if you're on a medical protocol, following your medical protocol. But what you can do is spend time focusing your thoughts on your end results. Focus your attention, your thoughts. So when you feel a negative thought coming in, fear, resentment, whatever emotions you're feeling, sit with them and say, this thought isn't serving me. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel this. I want to feel joy. I want to feel certainty. I want to feel and harness a belief that I know without a shadow of a doubt I am meant to become a mom or a parent or a dad. I want you to know and hold this belief that it is working out for you. Because every time we focus on that it's not working out, again, you bring yourself down to that lower vibration where you attract lower vibrational things. I am not saying that you attract, negative outcomes on your fertility journey. How you interpret this information and how you feel about it is unique to you. I chose to really believe, when I understood that I was harnessing a belief that my fertility journey was going to be hard, that I wasn't good enough. Our finances were not anywhere that they should have been to be doing this. So the pressure I was putting on myself, I can share all of that. But I started changing that. I started changing and holding a belief, because I thought, none of these thoughts are serving me. Where are you holding your beliefs? And, maybe you had your first child naturally, and now you're on a secondary fertility journey, but you're experiencing infertility. And there's a whole slew of different questions and different emotions. How could you do it the first time, but you can't do it the second time? And this is cruel. And, again, maybe you have the finances, but the thought that spending money on such an unknown, or maybe you've had your first steps and you've seen a fertility doctor, or you've had results and they share certain results, and you think, as much as I would hope and wish and want to have a second child, the odds are telling me no, I shouldn't. My doctor is telling me the chances are really low, or again, XYZ. So you give up. Spend time in your end result, in your desired life, because we are so programmed to wake up and do our daily routine and not strive for the things that we want. But every single one of you that's listening to this, and every single one in this world, is meant to have the things that we desire. We are all worthy of the things that we desire. The universe doesn't know the difference between manifesting $1 or $1 million. Same for your family. If you want to have a multiple pregnancy versus a singleton, visualize that, feel that, see your end result, because the universe has infinite possibilities to conspire to bring it all to you. It's your job to stay in your lane and really, really focus on the things that you love. Yes, contrast will be persistent and around you. Contrast will always be around you. But how you choose to focus your thoughts and respond to that contrast is so different than just reacting in a place of fear, in a place of resentment, in a place of frustration, in a place of hurt, all the emotions. I want you to know you really can choose your thoughts. And it's easier than you think. When the more you become aware of your thoughts, so you can even journal at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, on your lunch break. I want you to think about where your thoughts go around your body, around your life, around your relationships, around your fertility journey, and you'll start to really uncover your thoughts. You'll start to uncover your true inner feelings. And you start to change that by thinking to myself, is this thought serving me? And what's the opposite of this? So, for example, if you're a procrastinator and you want to be an action taker, what does an action taker do? Start to think of these things and start to feel the feeling of what an action taker would be. If you are in such fear about your fertility journey, what if you changed your belief that this is a new pregnancy, a new clinic, a new doctor, a new protocol? Whatever you can do to tell your mind that this is a new time, and say, but what if I could enjoy the journey? What if I could have date nights with my partner? What if I could not just wait for that moment of when I finally have my baby, then I can be happy? Or when I find out I'm pregnant, then I can be happy. I don't have to hold my breath anymore. What if you could enjoy it now? Because when you do have your baby, you want to be able to enjoy life. And I want you to visualize what life is like when baby's here. Because just focusing on your pregnancy, yes, that's good. But you want to focus on the end result of what your life looks like when baby is here. What do you do? Do you go to mom and baby groups? Do what does your first introduction of baby or babies to your family look like? What does your pregnancy announcement look like? What does your baby shower look like if you want to have those things? What does your holiday look like? What does these things look like? And the more you connect with them, the more detail I want you to add, the more feelings I want you to feel. Because again, you're becoming that vibrational match to the things that you desire. You are tuning into that frequency versus getting up, doing your daily routine, not focusing on the things that you want, and observing all of the energies of people around you, whether it's work, your home life, friends, social. You are absorbing that energy and you're feeling those things. And the things that we fill our mind with is what we start to absorb. So our conscious mind is the things that we focus on, and our subconscious mind is auto programming. So, for example, sleeping and breathing. We don't have to think about those things. We just do them. That is part of your subconscious mind. And your beliefs are in your subconscious mind. So again, when you, for example, don't feel worthy or you shame your body, that is all in your subconscious mind. So start to reprogram that by controlling your thoughts. Like, my body knows exactly what it's doing. You don't have to go as far as like, my body's perfect, my body's amazing. Because if you're trying to harness a belief that you really don't believe is true, that you're going to keep yourself in that low vibration. You're convincing yourself of something that you already believe. So you can build your ladder of belief in many ways. Like, say, I want to manifest a coffee today. Feel how amazing it would be to, go through the drive-through and someone pays for your coffee. Feel that excitement. Or maybe, you want a spiritual sign like a feather falling and it lands on your car or something. Start to build your ladder of belief so that you can see that this is working. Because I want to tell you, when you focus your thoughts, it really does work. I'm telling you, I have experienced it and I've seen it over and over and over again with my clients. I've seen it over and over and over again with my coaching communities and with other communities that I'm in. When you choose to focus your thoughts, You're changing your beliefs. You're changing your actions. You do actions differently. You can show up to your fertility appointments with more confidence. You can show up to your fertility appointments with ease and flow versus that stress. Because I can tell you, depending on where you are in your fertility journey, but the second you see your fertility clinic, or maybe it's even as soon as you get within a certain radius of the clinic, like your body just starts to clench and you get nervous and you feel you're excited, but you feel fear. You feel anxious. You feel all the emotions of like, God, I hope more than anything I can have this. And bringing this back to when I ask my fertility clinic or my fertility clients, how often do you think about your baby? They will tell you gut-wrenching situations like, you know what? I just experienced a miscarriage. I needed to distract my mind. I went into the grocery store just to pick something up and I saw a pregnant woman, or I saw a young family, and I just broke down crying because I want this more than anything. And I share with them, you connected to your desire, but you connected with it in a lower vibrational way because you don't believe that this is going to happen for you. Turn that, feel love towards those people. Even though you don't know them, you don't have to say anything to them. Just say, that's going to be me. That is me. That is me. I get to have this. I do have this. And start changing. Because when you can get into a high vibrational state, and it doesn't have to be, you're not like bouncing off the walls with energy, super excited, but being in a high vibrational state is far better than being in a low vibrational state because you will attract high vibrational things into your world. You will attract amazing things in. And I will repeat that, yes, contrast is always all around you, but when you can focus your thoughts and do the work, especially in the harder times, number one, you come out way better on the other side. And number two, you have tools to pull you out of the really dark times. I don't often share about my dark times, but there was some times that I thought, I don't know how much longer I can go on doing this, being here, not suicidal, but very, and I'm not judging anyone. Please understand, I know depression. I've seen it in many, many, many people. But there was points in my marriage. There was points on my fertility journey. There was points in so many areas of my life that I thought, I just want to pick up and I want to run away from all of this. I don't want to do this anymore. This is hell. This is fucking hell. But I can promise you that when you start to change your thoughts even slightly, the scales tip. And then when you start to be consistent and persistent doing it and you start to master your thoughts, I really do believe that you can manifest everything that you desire, your family included. When I have had conversations with people that said, no, you absolutely cannot manifest your baby. And I politely say, that is a belief you're holding. What if you could switch your belief to, I can manifest anything? And what if you really actually harness that belief that it's true? What if you tried that? And again, you have to be tactful. You have to understand every fertility journey is very unique to you, every emotional impact, how you were brought up, how you were raised, your religion, everything. But I also want you to think about, maybe you wanted to do something and you didn't do it because of judgment of someone else, fear of what someone else thought of you. What if you changed a belief that I'm worthy of doing whatever I want? It doesn't matter what people think. What if you changed that belief? What would you do differently? That's what I mean when I say you can apply this to every area of your life, but I'm mainly focusing on fertility because I really do believe I manifested my family because I chose my thoughts, even when things were really hard. In my first fertility journey, I didn't know what I was doing because I hadn't studied the universal laws yet. But I was listening to law of attraction and I was doing the steps that they told me. And on my secondary fertility journey, when I was studying the universal laws, I embodied it. And I'll be frank and I'll be honest. I asked myself, how could I manifest my, my pregnancies and my babies, but I wasn't manifesting other areas of my life, other things that I desired and other things that I wanted. And I journaled and I journaled. And I really discovered again, it was my beliefs, where I was holding traumatic impacts, with my belief that, again, maybe I wasn't worthy, or a belief that, no, this isn't working because blah, blah, blah. And I discovered I was still blaming certain situations over and over and over again. And when I started understanding again, choose your thoughts, focus on my end result. My thoughts are so incredibly powerful. I'm going to manifest everything I write down. I wrote a life script. I wrote a 30-page life script. It does not have to be that long. The very first time I wrote it, I think it was 2 pages. But I started getting so detailed of relationships that I want in my life, the money I want in my life, how many clients I'm serving at a time. I started focusing my thoughts, and morning and on my lunch break when I was working, and before I went to bed, I spent time focusing on the things that I wanted. And every time something that popped into my head of things that I didn't want, I either became neutral to it. So that, again, like there wasn't that exchange of energy, or I would really just sit and say, this thought isn't serving me. And I'm choosing a new outfit right now. I'm choosing to focus on the things that I want. And how, again, people started responding to me differently. And the manifestations were coming very different. They were coming faster, they were coming stronger, and in different ways that I ever imagined. And no, they didn't all come exactly the way I thought, but they became better. They became better than what I thought, because I was choosing my thoughts. I was choosing to create a life that I wanted. I was taking actions differently. I was no longer talking about, I'm so quiet and shy and caring about what people thought. I started saying, I have a message to spread. I have a massive heart that I want to give to the world. And I know what it's like to be on the other end, so desperate to have your family, and it seem like it's not working, and seem like it's hopeless, and seem like it's impossible. And the pressure that I put on myself, the shame I put on my body. And I released those things and I changed my thoughts. And I'm here with 3 biological babies conceived through IVF. And I am a very confident person. I very much feel so proud of the messages that I want to share. I feel so proud of every single one of my clients. And I tell them I'm proud of them. I give them the information and they're the ones that do the work. They are the rock stars. I am here to share with you how incredibly powerful your thoughts are. So, what are you doing today to focus on the things that you want? And if you say, I can't, change it to I can. It's okay. I'm giving you permission. It is okay. I know every journey is so different, but it is okay to allow joy into your heart. I have been in a place that I was so scared to open my heart up because I've been hurt in many situations, and to open up my heart so fully where, the fear was actually very paralyzing. What if I get hurt again? What if this happens? I can't open myself up. That's insane. And I opened myself up, and the love that I received is far greater than I ever imagined. I faced a fear, and I'm asking you to do the same thing on your fertility journey. Don't bring your past into your present. Every cycle, every procedure, every pregnancy, again, no matter where you are in your fertility journey, hold that it is new and it is working for you. Don't hold on to the fact that this is not working. Don't hold the belief that you're not worthy. Don't shame your body. I started telling myself my body knows exactly what it is doing. And I believe that the universe has my back. And when I surrender to my universe every day, that it is going to guide me exactly where I need to be. And I need to trust the process and stop trying to control. I felt, because of a lot of circumstances and everything in my life, I wanted to control my fertility journey as much as I could because everything else felt out of control. But it's when I surrendered my fertility journey that, again, go listen to episode 2, where the synchronicities, excuse me, where the synchronicities lined up over and over and over again, ways that you would not think possible. And they did. And I've experienced this in many areas of my life because I choose to focus my thoughts. And I really will repeat, give yourself grace. If you're not perfect at it, you don't need to be perfect at it. If you're not practiced at it, you don't need to be practiced at it to start. But starting is getting you somewhere far better. And you know what? I can honestly say there is comfort in conformity. There's comfort in staying the same. There's comfort in not changing because it's worked for you this far. But when you choose to focus your thoughts, yes, things will change, but they change far better than you could ever imagine. And what if you were living that life? Ask yourself, what if, in a positive way? What if I could have my desired family? What if I could have my desired life? What if I could have these things? This isn't asking you to invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. This is asking you to invest in yourself, doing something in the privacy of your own home, something that you can do when you wake up in the morning. You can do this on your lunch break at work. You can do this before you go to bed. But choose to harvest the good of the day, the week, the month, the year, how you see yourself. When I wasn't feeling so great about my body, I kept saying, you know what, at least I have the doctors. The doctors and the universe are now putting me exactly where I need to be so that I can have my family, because I know I'm not doing it by myself. I chose to understand my beliefs, and I'm encouraging each and every one of you. And I don't want to get emotional here, but I truly believe every single one of you deserves to have your family. You deserve to feel that love. You deserve to be and have the things that you want. You truly deserve that. So start with choosing your thoughts. Start when negative thoughts come in. Say, I don't want to think this way. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want you to think that it's overwhelming. I don't want you to think that this is pointless. I want you to know I'm sharing this with you because, number one, it's a belief that I hold. And number two, I have seen it work over and over and over and over again. And I want you to have this. I want you to have this. I want you to become aware of where your limiting beliefs are. I want you to become aware of where your thoughts drift. What do you think when you see a teen pregnant person? What do you see when you see a pregnant person? What do you see when you see, young families or even well-established families? What do you see? What do you feel? Ask yourself these questions. I could go on and on and on, but this is just what I need to share with you today. Our thoughts are so incredibly powerful. And Bob Proctor, I don't have the exact quote. This is something I'm recalling from my memory, but it's something that stuck with me. He talked about, if you really understood how powerful your thoughts were, you would never have a negative thought again, because you would understand what it does to your body, you would understand what it does to your environment, and you would understand how you are manifesting. You don't need to be on a high vibrational state every single day. You can be neutral, but you want to be far more on a higher, happier vibration than you do on a low vibration. I can tell you that when I walked into my fertility appointment and I said, okay, I have surrendered this, the way I talked to my doctor was so different. I was no longer in a place of, please just tell me what I have to do so I can have my baby. I was very confident. I said, okay, I like this medical protocol. I'm ready to go. Those weren't exactly those exact words, but that was the difference of being in a place of gratitude and being in a place of love and being in a place of all knowing that the universe has my back and that my body knows exactly what it's doing. I felt different at my appointments. And when I knew that I was pregnant before getting my beta and they called me and they told me my number, I wasn't shocked. I was incredibly excited, but I thought, no, I knew I manifested this. When I found out that my last baby was a boy, which that's exactly what I was manifesting, I didn't cry. I cried later that night because sometimes I need moments to like actually process the magnitude of my thoughts. But when I saw that I had a boy, I just thought, I knew this. My mind is that incredible. My mind is that powerful. Yes, I did cry later that night because I thought, holy crap, I did this. I chose to think of my thoughts. And I won't go into the details of my birth because every birth is very different. But I will say this towards the end, I very much said, the universe has me and I am going to be just fine. Everything is working out exactly the way it needs to. And it did. So when you can choose to go into your mind, whether it's meditating, whether it's journaling, and then looking at that, write out the negative if you need to, and then crumple it up, burn it, throw it in the garbage, wherever you want, and then write the opposite and focus on that. Focus on the things that you want. When I ask family and friends, what is it that you really desire? They go, I don't know. Okay. I think, what if you thought about it? Excuses would come up. I don't have time for this. I'm tired. I'm blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I promise you, I hold no judgment to anyone. I don't know, even if I know your past, even if, I don't know what you're personally going through because everyone will only share what they want to share. I don't know your true innermost thoughts. I don't hold judgments. I ask questions. What if you spent 30 seconds just telling me if you won the lottery today, what would you do? And when you see the smiles come on their face, or, I ask a question like, what is like, how, like, what is it that you desire? How would you spend your days if you had your desired life? Every person smiles and says, well, I would do this. Like, this would be fun. And I think you just connected. How cool was that? That was 2 seconds and one question and you just connected. So do this for yourself. Connect with your partner on your fertility journey differently. Ask each other questions. Ask each other what your desires would be like and start building this dream. Do a vision board. Do whatever you can that you can focus every single day. My first pregnancy, I had a vision board. I picked out my stroller. I picked out my maternity clothes. I picked out my names. I picked out everything. And I very much looked at it. It was in my bedroom beside my bed. So every morning I woke up, I looked at it. Every night before I went to bed, I looked at it. And when I would come home from work on my lunch breaks, I would look at it and then I would smile like, this is all working out for me. So whatever you can do that helps you focus your thoughts, do it. Because your thoughts are so incredibly powerful. Your thoughts control so much of your environment. I promise you, because this is what I've seen over and over and over and over and over again, and I've witnessed it myself, I've felt it, and I have also changed myself by really choosing my thoughts. I really, really, really want every single one of you to practice this because I mean it with my whole heart. I want everyone to experience the things that I experience. I want everyone to have their desired family. I want you to know what it feels like to have the things that you want because you deserve it and you are worthy of it. You are worthy of it. And I'll say that 100 times over if I need to. You are worthy of having the things that you desire. So start with changing your thoughts. Start with becoming aware of your thoughts. Because when you become aware of your thoughts and you start to shift them, things will change for you. You will start to see, you will climb your ladder of belief to the things that you want, and you'll start going bigger. You'll start to say, okay, well, I've manifested a coffee. Now I'm going to manifest this. And you'll start to see them work out. And then you'll go bigger and bigger and bigger. I promise you this works. I promise you, but be consistent and persistent. And some of the hardest times that I've gone through, if I didn't have this tool of choosing my thoughts, I don't know where I would have come out on the other side, but it helped me immensely. And it's when you use this tool through the hardest times, you see the most amount of growth. You learn the strength that you have. You learn how incredibly powerful you are. So I'm telling you, with the utmost love and gratitude, to have a beautiful day and to please go really sit down and write what it is that you would desire without thinking about time, money, judgment, anything. Nothing of those is an object. Please, please, please go write down what it is that you desire and start focusing on that at least once a day, and watch your days and weeks and months and years and life change. Have an amazing day.
If you found this helpful or know anyone that needs to hear this, please share. And don't forget to leave a review and subscribe. In love and gratitude, Jessica.